Venice beach was always packed. It's packed today, it was packed, a decade ago, 2 decades ago, 5 decades ago, it was always packed. People just love to come here, tourists love to come here, people from inland come to the ocean and they go to the beach, they go and work out here, they play basketball, handball and all the different things, go roller skating, jump rope, do their fitness exercises, go swimming. So it's really a great place to hang out, and it was really a great joy when I first came here from Austria to see all of those activities. The place where we worked out, which was called Gold's Gym, was a place that was kind of the mecca of bodybuilding. There was Vince's gym in the valley, and there was Gold's Gym over here. And I'm gonna stop right here. This was the place. There was a big door right here, and we used to hang out right here. This is where we got our fresh air all the time. Then we walked in again, did some squats. It was actually a very small space with a lot of equipment around it and everything, thousands and thousands of pounds of equipment and everything. But everything was packed in there with the natural skylight, and people from all over the world would come together here and would work out. It was kind of the place to go, and it had champions from around the world, from the European champions, South American champions, Asian champions, Australian champions. I mean, literally from all over the world, they came here and trained here. And so it was really the greatest workout atmosphere that you can find. And then we went from there just a few blocks down here, and we turned right at this traffic light. And this was all kind of short distances. And then there was the kind of a Muscle Beach, even though it was called Venice Beach, but we called it Muscle Beach. And they had a wonderful weightlifting platform out there. And the advantage there again was that when you worked out on that weightlifting platform, you could get your tan. But it was not the kind of a tan that sucked. But it was the kind of a tan that you really could use in competition. What I mean by that is sometimes when people lie in the sun, then they look like they got tanned in the front and tan in the back, but they're not tanned all around, underneath the arms and everywhere. And so when you worked out outside, you then could literally get a tan everywhere. And you then sweat, and you also had kind of, please, thank you, no problem. Hey, how are you doing, darling? All my fans from 40 years ago. So anyway, so we would come down here, and then the police usually always comes right by here. They love it. Just look at that, she's so friendly. She now says to herself, wait a minute, is he really driving where this is a drive? This is forbidden to drive? I said, yes, I am. How are you doing? You smile, of course, a lot. You always smile when you talk to officers and stuff like that. I did that then already. I smiled a lot always at the officers. And then here is the wonderful, you see, the wonderful place where we work out. Now we go out, you can look at that. See, maybe hi to the officers, they may be interested in talking a little bit and schmoozing. We are taping, and I'm showing to the younger generations where I used in 1968 when I moved from Austria to California, that this was the place where I used to come, train at Gold's Gym, which is right there in Pacific Avenue. Right. Then we walked over here to get a tan and to train out here, so I'm educating them on how it worked in the old days. Okay, so exactly. Okay, so thank you very much for letting me drive out here. Okay, yeah.
Oh, okay.
Exactly. Have a good day. Okay, good to see you. So this is the place where we work out. You have all the machines in there. It was a little smaller in the days when I worked out, but the advantage was when you did chin-ups, when you did your presses, when you did your curls, you got the tan everywhere, and then we would run over to the ocean, jump into the waves, got the salt water all over, and got really again tanned all around. So this was the weightlifting pit, basically. So we go around slowly, everything within the law, of course, and We almost ran this guy over, but he was not a bodybuilder, so what do we care? Anyway. Wait a minute, hold on a second. There's one thing that we need to look at, and this is right here. Get ready for this shot here, okay? There's nothing you have to worry about. You just get out here. I leave the engine running so we can take off in case another police car comes. So which one is a good shot here? You have it?
Yeah. I got a double bicep.
Now you see, you have a good frame? Let me know when you have a good frame. Yeah, now you see the advantage is when you come down here to Muscle Beach and the Venice Beach platform and you train for that many decades like I have and pumped up the body and got tanned and win the championships, then they eventually build a building to have you on the building, a picture of my winning pose, and that's right here. Pow! How about that, huh? Anyway. Only one more thing I show you guys that no one ever got to see. I'm gonna go now down 2 blocks, and there you will see the first wall that Franco and I built when we got into the construction business. And it's still the day 40 years later, standing there proudly and in best shape. Of course, if it would be chipped off in some areas or a brick is missing, Franco and I, we have guaranteed then already that we will come and fix it, because I think that the warranty is for life. And I told Franco he should be ready at any time that we get a phone call and have to fix a few walls, put some plaster on it or something like that. This wall here was the first wall that Franco and I built. It was back in 1971, and we were commissioned by this gentleman here that owned Gold's Gym then. His name was Bud Denditz, and he said, how much would it cost to build a wall around my house? And I just made up the number, and I said $5,000. And Franco said, no, it doesn't cost $5,000. I think we can do it for $2,000. I said, Franco, relax, it's $5,000. And then we got the material, the bricks and everything, the cement. We tore down the old wall, and then we built this one. And we had a few of the bodybuilders help us, and it's still standing here today. It will stand here forever, because Frank and I, we built it well, with some steel rods in there and everything like that. That goes all around the thing. So we are very proud of the workmanship that we did. But every so often, Franco had the tendency of putting broken glass on top of and cemented in on top of the wall, because that's what they did in Sardinia. And it's of course totally against the law in America, especially in California, because when someone wants to jump over, they will cut their hands. But that's the idea why the Sardinians did it. But here, of course, it's against the law. So we had to take it down by some of the walls that we did that. And well, it was no problem. A few people cut their hands, but hey. All right, back to the office so that the catcher is happy.
Did it drive you more to train with the guys than, everybody training in a different area? You think seeing the guys on a regular basis was more drive? I mean, other than like Sergio and a couple guys here and there back in the day.
Well, we saw, because even Sergio came out here to train.
Okay.
Yeah, Sergio came periodically, and but I also went to visit him.
Yeah, Chicago,
As a matter of fact,
right?
yeah, I stayed in his apartment for several days. And his wife and him were very gracious hosts. And, we had really wonderful workouts. And he was very generous with sharing information and everything. We posed together, we trained together, talked about eating and food supplements and psychology and all this stuff. It was really great. Franco many times didn't like to train as much as I did, because his body didn't need it. He, as a matter of fact, he got sometimes burned out by overtraining. Whereas for me, overtraining, it was the thing that actually made me more cut. It gave me this extra definition without having to diet too severely. And Franco kind of would leave 3/4 through the workout. And sometimes in the evening he would not come. So I said to myself, well, I got to go, since I really have only 8-9 weeks left to go and train for the Olympia in 1975. I got to get someone that is as hungry as I am with the training, and that's why I switched over for that period to kind of Ed Corney, to rely more on Ed Corney than on Franco. Even though Franco and I, we trained together, but Ed Corney became the guy that then on the end did the arc, that then pushed through and was with me, especially when it came to the leg workout, where Franco just did his 5 sets and the squats and then 5 sets leg extension. He would walk out because he had naturally big thighs and strong thighs. I had to do my 25 sets. And so Ed Corney would then be there to grind it out. Because he wanted to beat Franco that year in the Olympia. And so he was all kind of gung-ho that he's going to train with me and he's going to go and beat Franco, which was a nice ambition to have because he had a great body and he had a fantastic posing routine and everything. But, you know, he can't beat Franco. I mean, Franco was just so massive and he was so strong and so thick and so ripped. I mean, he had this fresh, kind of unbelievable meat on his body that was just, you know, unlike anything else, and deep striations and deep muscle separations, everything. And so he will be, you know, always a dangerous guy to compete against because he was so good, and he was, you know, like Danny Padilla later on was called the Giant Slayer. Franco was the Giant Slayer because he beat everybody in all of those Mr. Universe contests that he won, and Mr. Olympia, he beat the big guys.